Legion Tactical Cutlery.
Hold the line!
Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Grugs here, Legion Tactical Cutlery. Welcome back once again, troops, legionnaires, new recruits. As always, really appreciate you all taking the time to check out my channel and my videos. Got something pretty cool here. This is the ThrwClub Tanto in 420C, a 6mm beast. I did do a little testing. That's why it's a little bit on the dirty side. I don't care. I wanted to use it. We're going to test it out. That bottle opener, not the greatest idea in my opinion, but let's see what it can do. What's everybody carrying today? Again, I'm carrying my ThrwClub shank right here. Love this little blade. Go check out the Legion Premiere. What is everybody carrying? Veterans, active military, just want to say thank you very much for your service. I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, let's go over quick specs. Once again, this is the ThrwClub Tanto, overall length 11.1 inch, blade length 5.6 inch, blade material 420 HC, blade hardness 55 to 58 HRC, blade thickness 6 millimeters, blade width 1.43 inch, handle length 4.8 inch, handle width 1.26 inch, handle thickness 0.90 inch, handle material, they're just saying it's a rubber handle. Weight of the knife is 14 ounces and it features a full Tang lanyard hole, kydex sheath, and a plastic type belt loop, which I actually like. And it also comes with a pretty inexpensive sharpening system and a very, very small ferro rod. I'll show you guys that towards the end of the video, but let's check it out. Let's take a quick look at this knife. I love the concept of this Tanto design. I think it's awesome. I just don't like that bottle opener over there. I got to call a spade a spade. Other than that, this knife seems like it's pretty capable. We're going to put it to the test and see what it does. It's pretty much a mid-saber type grind Tanto. It's got a nice high secondary bevel, which I appreciate. I mean, this thing, for me, I think it's killer, man. I really do. It's got a nice finger guard. It's got a slight sharpening choil. I know the handle is controversial with many, but it's extremely comfortable. It is probably a stick tang here in the handle, but that's okay. 6 millimeter stick shouldn't be too much of a problem. Protruding Tang lanyard hold. All right, a little bit of jimping up here. There's that quote unquote bottle opener. Or it could be a pot holder. You know, you're trying to lift a pot or some kind of tea kettle off your fire. You hook it up in here. I guess you got to use your imagination how you want to consider what this really is, but I could have done without it, that's for sure. Other than that, the fit and finish on this, I know it looks a little dirty, but the fit and finish on this out of the box is really nice, and I cannot wait to test it out. Now let's take a look at the sheath. Kydex sheath, okay, taco style. It's got a few rivet holes to add third-party items on here if you decide to purchase something separate. I genuinely like this belt. Very easy to put on your belt and take off. Okay, you press this button, it locks into place and it pretty much stays in place. Let's pop the knife in. No rattle with this particular knife and sheath combo. There you go. There's the full look of it all, and the retention is good. No noise. I mean, I think this knife is less than like 30 bucks, man. Can you believe it? But we're going to put it to the test now. We're going to see how it works out. And I got a nice small log over here. I'll chop it up here in the center, and we'll see how it performs. Decent sized log right here. Something pretty realistic in my opinion. I'm going to start chopping right here in half. The chopping, I want to see if the edge bends, chips, folds, etc. So let's give it a go right here. Nice hard piece of wood for sure. Well, the rubber grip handle is doing really good. I probably should just tighten this, the lanyard around my wrist, which I added. Hopefully you all noticed. but so far so good. 6 millimeters thick, and that grind is pretty decent. Should do a good job, but that's why we test, right? Looks like I'm going to be going through a knot over here. That's okay. I just knocked it off. Well, that's a good sign. Okay, so not a chopper whatsoever. I have to, give it some, downward heavy duty motion to get it to chop, but it's still pretty sharp, man. All right, good. So it got through. I'm pretty happy with that. I do have a nice piece of hardwood here that I actually tested out yesterday. So let's see. Yep, we're still looking good. That edge looks straight. No chips, no nothing. All right, good. So I've got a couple of pieces. We could do some vertical and horizontal batoning. Let's do it. Let's do some horizontal batoning. Now let's see if this bottle opener is going to be a problem or an issue. In fact, that's where I'm going to hit it right there. Nope. Let me pick those pieces up. Okay, let's do it again. Again, utilizing the whole blade. Right where that bottle opener is. It's fine. With this being 6 millimeters, I don't think it's going to be a problem. However, that's why we test. Pick those pieces up again. Okay, we have our quarters. I can actually cut this down a little bit more. In fact, right through that knot. Safely, though. Let's do it safely. Just digging in the blade first, make sure that it doesn't roll on me, and okay, there we go. Okay, you can see the knot right there. The blade looks good. Still wicked sharp. I'm good to go with the horizontal baton. Let's do a little vertical. So far, so good. Again, hitting by that bottle opener area. I want to see if it does any damage. Not the greatest cut that I wanted, but it did it anyway. Doesn't matter. And just trying to whack this area over here. Okay, this one is a little bit better. The way I was able to cut it. Nice. Okay, just split that wood. I'll pick that up in a second. Concentrating my efforts by the bottle opener. Jeez. Okay. Nice. Okay. I'm going to make a little bit smaller pieces of kindling. Not hitting it as hard. and it's doing the job. Okay, let me just leave that right there for everybody. And let me pick up those other pieces of wood. Okay, here you go. Not the prettiest, doesn't matter if you need a small fire. Instead of something big, you need kindling of some sort. The knife is doing the job, and take a look at that edge. Pretty good, right? This is a hard-ass piece of wood here. Now let me just show everybody. So I've been hitting it hard right here by the bottle opener area. And you can still see it's extremely sharp here. Okay, good to go, man. Nice. A couple of things I want to try. I'm going to test out the tip now. It's a pretty robust tip. You know, I don't think we are going to have an issue. So what I'm going to do is right here in the center, first I'm going to make sure that it doesn't accidentally slip out. So I'm going to use that tip to penetrate a little bit of that wood so I can do this properly. Now you can see, I know a lot of people ain't going to like this handle, but it is comfortable. That guard does help. This cutout does help. The rubber handle is very positive. Nice. Okay. That tip is just, I don't think anything's going to happen to that tip. That tip is extremely robust. But, you know, if you wanted to make quick work, make some feather sticks or kindling, and you don't like the idea of batoning, maybe this floats your boat a little more. There you go. Tip is still good. I'm doing it from the center right here. Nice. All right. I've got my feather sticks and individual curls for later. Let me just put this down here for a second. Now, let's do some cross batoning here. I'm going to be hitting that area because I want to know for myself, will it stand up? Is the blade weak? Ah, there we go, troops. Nice. Okay, sorry about that. I had to cut out because my family was leaving. They were making a little bit of noise, so I wanted to cancel out the noise. But you could take a look at that edge right there. No damage whatsoever. And right by the bottle opener area, you can see, still sharp. Okay? I think this is under 30 bucks, this knife. All right? And I know that can opener is not the greatest look. It's doing a fine job so far. You can see that, man. Okay, in fact, I know I cut out real quick. Let me do the cross batoning again. All right, right by the area of the bottle opener. Okay, there you go. No edge damage at all. Hold on a second. There you go. Okay. In fact, you know what? Let me clean this up and we'll do the feather sticks and the individual curls. I want to test out the ferro rod that comes with this knife. See how that works out. Maybe a little scraping. So cool. Stay tuned, man. These are the sticks that I use the tip to break apart. In fact, you know what? Maybe see if I could make this a little smaller too while I'm at it. Nice. Okay, good. I've got the big ferro rod and I've got the ferro rod that comes with this knife, okay, and the scraper. So real quick, let's, okay, and you could see where I use that tip to, you know, make these feather sticks or kindling, whatever you want to call it. Let's just take off that bark real nice. Okay, the area, again, I'm trying to use the area that I was batoning by that can opener, and this is how you know that's the area that I used. And you could see it just took off the bark with no issue, no problem. Sometimes that bark just sticks to that wood. I'm just using the sharpness of the blade to try and get rid of that for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe you just need something clean. Okay, there you go. There's the bark right there. Individual curls. Look at that. Okay, in the vicinity where I did the chopping, cross batoning, vertical, horizontal. This knife is still pretty sharp. Okay, and for those who are going to use a knife like a knife, you grab yourself a saw and an axe, and this thing will last you a lifetime. Would you take this out into the woods? I don't know, man. You know, I'm not you. Would I now? Now that I gave it the beating that you just saw, yeah, I take this into the woods for sure. I mean, I kind of feel I'm a little bit experienced for outdoor stuff, you know, not heavy duty experience, but okay, look at that. I don't know. I think these high secondary bevel grinds, they're amazing. You know, look at that. Can you beat that, man? Okay, look at that. That's going to start a fire, man. That's going to help you start a fire. Do a bunch of this stuff right over here. That's going to help you start a fire. So for those on an extreme budget, I know, you know, it's a Tanto, number one. It'd be nice if they made a clip point like this, you know, or a flat back. And if they got rid of that, you know, bottle opener, I'm sure this would appeal to a lot more people. But I mean, look at what that's doing, man. Just gotta pick that up off the floor now. Okay, look at what that's doing. Okay, very nice. All right, now let me just see. Okay, this area by the jimping and right up to this point at the end of the bottle opener, and even a little bit in the beginning of this bottle opener, I'm sure you could see it as I'm pointing, rounded off. Okay, and it's not, definitely not doing the greatest job. However, this part right here, okay, whoops, ooh, I don't want to start a fire in my garage. You know what, let me move this over. Look at that. So not bad, not bad. Now let's try this other one. Let me just show you that this does come with the knife, and it does have this scraper. It has teeth over here, but the teeth, believe it or not effective. So I use the other side just to show you that it works. And now let's see. Doing the job, okay? So we are looking good, all right? And now I'm pretty satisfied, man. Let's just go right to camp tasks. Okay, just a few items right here that you might take on a hunt, a hike, a fish, you know, campsite, whatever. You know what I mean? Let me start off with the lighter things, and then we'll go up to the heavier duty stuff. All right. So I have some twine. Okay, this is twine in wax. Okay, real easy, still really sharp, and doing the job here. Okay, all right, and again, I'm going to use that area that I used to bash the bottle opener area. That worked out fine. Here is some synthetic twine. We'll call it what you want. Easy. Okay. Paracord. There's a little paracord right here. Okay. Done deal. More time. Real nice. Okay. And as you can see, no damage to the edge whatsoever. No rolls, no chips, no bends. Nice. All right. I already did this. Let's do a little piece of this synthetic nylon belt type material. This is used for, on a ratchet set to tie down ladders, etc., on a van or a truck. Okay, real easy. Piece of rope right here. That's a lot. Okay, in any case, nice, easy cuts. One more time for everybody in that vicinity, that general vicinity. Nice. Okay, the knife is still pretty sharp for a knife that's under 30 bucks. Here's a lightweight tie material for pallets or appliances or what have you. You might be a rancher. I don't know what they wrap the bales in or whatever, but that is just, gliding right through. No problem. This stuff is used here at the complex. The builders use it to tie prefabricated roofs. I just picked them up off the floor to show you. All right, very sturdy. They lift these things up onto the roof, and then the guy, I guess he cuts them with whatever proper tool they have, or maybe they have their own pocket knife. And last but not least, this really heavy duty, very thick tie over here. Okay, looks like it broke, but no matter. Just make sure I'm in that vicinity. Wow, one of the easier knives that I've done, because this is tough stuff, man. One of the easier knives that I have used to cut this stuff. So we're good to go, man. I'm really satisfied with this knife. Again, I'm calling a spade a spade. I don't like the way that looks. I would rather have one solid piece. I know a lot of you would, but for those on a budget, you like Tantos, this is not a deal breaker, man. You saw what I did. I gave it a good beating. And, this knife is still extremely sharp here, Can't go wrong. I guess if you needed to get this out of the way, you could do a little bit of bushcrafting, Again, not the most appropriate knife, but let me make a quick number 7 notch over here. Oh, it broke. Anyway, you could see, look at that, okay? You could see that I made the notch without any trouble. So, all right, I'm happy with that. I'm satisfied. Links will be available, in the description section, the comment section. Take a look for yourself and, make your own decision. Awesome knife, did the job, man. You see it right there in front of you. Now, I just want to make sure that everybody sees that it does come with this very, very inexpensive sharpening system. Okay, it's got a V-type ceramic rod, and it has a V-type, I guess, sharpener for the steel. I would never use this right here. Maybe I would use the ceramic rods just to do a little honing, but I wouldn't use this right here. I use the Work Sharp guide, but just to let everybody know, it does come with this sharpener, and obviously you saw the little, it's under here somewhere, the little ferro rod that it comes with. It's adequate, it'll work, but I think this knife did a pretty good job. I would rather get rid of that bottle opener, put a flat spine over there, right? Solid flat spine, sharpen up the spine for scraping and striking a ferro rod, other than using this area. The more surface space, the better. Now, one other thing that I did notice, I did make, it's hidden, but I did make another number 7 notch, and that jimping right there hurts the hand. So there is a hot spot right there. It's not a deal breaker though. It's not a deal breaker. Listen, this is not really a bushcraft knife, but if you need to use it, it can do it. All right, troops? Thanks for watching. Really appreciate you all. Let me bring awareness to everybody. Hashtag 22 a day, hashtag 22 a day no more. There are veterans and active military wants to get out of the service. They do face a lot of challenges. Unfortunately, one of these challenges is suicide. So at the end of this video, pause on the slides. There'll be phone numbers that you can call, websites that you can surf. A heartfelt message from one of your own, Vietnam veteran, U.S. Army, Martin Miller, 66 to 69. He's been there. He's gone what you are going through. Please seek the help that you all have earned and deserve. Troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, really appreciate you all. Let me know what you think. At the ready, hold the line. Take care.
Legionnaires!